Welcome to MOCA. My name is Alison Byrne. I'm Deputy Director for Exhibitions and Education here at the museum, and I'm here in the gallery with my colleagues Heather Hakeem-Zadeh and Truly Matthews, along with special guest artist Lauren Keim. We're going to show you a sneak peek of our new suite of exhibitions, The Summer of Women, featuring the exhibition She Says, Women, Words and Power, Amplify, Lauren Keim Everyday Magic, and a very special interactive art lab. The exhibition is officially open to the public tomorrow, July 17th, and admission is free thanks to the generosity of the Good Family Foundation. We're also incredibly grateful to our presenting sponsor, PRA Group. The exhibitions you're about to see feature the work of 28 distinguished women-identifying artists from all across the country, as well as right here in Hampton Roads. So let's head into our first gallery where Heather's waiting to show you She Says, Women, Words and Power.
Hi. I'm Heather Hakeem-Zadeh. Welcome to She Says, Women, Words and Power. This is one of my favorite exhibitions so far at MOCA. I say that every time, but it's true this time. Words are an extraordinarily part of our lives, extraordinarily important part of our lives. They're not just means of communication, but they're actually power structures. And the 8 women artists in this exhibition use words to navigate their world, to shape their world. They internalize the things that are important to them. You know, this can be words that are shouted to you on the street, words that are in religious doctrine, words that are in ordinances and laws. They are absolutely about who we are. And each woman takes a very different approach to making this artwork, but she forms it in a very beautiful way. They're almost like poetry. Well, they are poetry on the wall. So visually, emotionally, you're going to be feeling these artworks as you move through the exhibition. Every single one has something very important to say, and they will have meaning for you as you move through. As you leave, She Says, you're going to be entering into Amplify.
Welcome to Amplify. This exhibition features 19 women-identifying artists from Virginia, Washington, D.C., North Carolina, and Maryland. And this exhibition was really born when Heather and I were trying to think about what exhibition would pair well with She Says. And as curators, curating during the pandemic, it was a little challenging because we couldn't get to visit with studio artists. We couldn't get to go to art fairs or galleries. And so it was one day sitting, thinking about this problem, we came up with the idea for Amplify, which was really to reach out to all of our curatorial colleagues who we know well and to ask them who they would recommend, who are the women artists making incredible work in their region. And we had amazing feedback from curators all across the region. We had about 70 recommendations, and Heather and I spent a long time looking at them and came up with this 19 group show. So we are incredibly proud of it. These artists are talking about what it means to be a woman now in 2021.
So as we began to talk about this exhibition, and we spent a lot of time talking about it, Alice and I would take walks together remotely, where she lived and where I lived, and we were talking about the different layers of this exhibition. And it reminded me of a strategy that was used in the Obama White House. President Obama hired a lot of women to be on his staff, an unprecedented number of women, which is very exciting. But they were finding that they were encountering some very traditional problems that women find in the workplace, which is when they went into meetings, they weren't being heard or listened to. So they came up with this strategy where if one of them spoke up in a meeting, another woman would immediately repeat it and give credit to her. And they called that strategy amplification. The president himself noticed it very quickly, and he said, you know, what's happening here? I noticed that like when one of you speaks, another one repeats. And the answer was, well, unless we amplify ourselves, you don't hear us. And that was a part of our thought process when we took on this exhibition. And we want to amplify the voices of women artists, because even though there are more women artists than male artists, men artists are still getting better representation in museums, in gallery shows, in being collected. And as you can see, as you're moving through this enormously amazing exhibition, the work is stunning. It should be seen. We should be hearing these voices. We should be understanding, because when you include everybody, you have a much richer and more complex dialogue. And so as you come through this exhibition, again, you're going to see artists locally, regionally. You're going to end here and move into Art Lab, our educational space. And you're going to encounter Truly Matthews, Virginia MOCA Curator of Education. Thanks, Heather.
Hi, I'm Truly. I'm Curator of Education at Virginia MOCA, and welcome to Art Lab. Art Lab is our hands-on interactive gallery space for all ages. It changes in conjunction with each exhibition cycle, and it's really a space where we tease out the main themes and the big ideas from our main galleries. And one kind of big idea that we wanted to explore a little bit more was gender and equity in the arts. And we had the privilege of working with the National Museum of Women in the Arts, as well as the Tate, for these amazing facts, figures, and quotes, as well as a really interesting short documentary of the famous Guerrilla Girls. So that's something that we're really excited to have in this space for this exhibition cycle. You'll also notice some really bold, colorful art on the walls. And at Virginia MOCA, we're always trying to figure out different ways to have more art in the space. And we do that by collaborating with a local artist each exhibition cycle. So this photo booth mural that you see, as well as the other kind of title murals on the wall, those are all done by local artist Rosemary Ann Spracklin. And she was amazing to work with. And you should check her out on Instagram, Artistry of Rosemary. And she really brought some life into the space. So we're really happy with this work. And so you'll see over here to my right, we always like to kind of dig a little deeper into the materials and the technique and the process that the artists use. So we worked with selected Amplify artists to kind of get a peek behind the curtain of how does one of their works of art start, right? What's the process? What's the technique they're used, and what materials are they using? And then we also love to have a hands-on interactive, where you just saw a bunch of art, and now you want to make art. So we're thinking a lot here about kind of reclaiming language and text, really pulling from the She Says artists. So we're inviting visitors to make stencils, putting together sentences, phrases, really playing with language and art. Every art lab, we partner with the Virginia Beach Public Library. We curate a selection of books, all inspired by our current exhibitions, and make a cozy little reading nook and encourage visitors to kind of sit, take a break, and enjoy some reading. We also print out selections, so if you don't have time to sit and read, you can snap a picture of our recommendations and check them out later. We always love to hear from our visitors. So this is our response wall. You can see it's totally empty. So hopefully when you come to see the exhibitions, you'll come and you'll fill it up. But we really are asking visitors to reflect on allyship. Not allyship just for women, but other groups that need support and to be uplifted. And finally, we have an interactive, really thinking about the inspiration of our community gallery artist, Lauren Keim. You're in for a treat. Lauren is with us today. So I'd love to introduce you to Lauren Keim. She is our community gallery artist, and she will take you through her own exhibition. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Lauren. Thanks, Truly, I appreciate that. I am the photographer who's being exhibited in the community gallery here for this show. I began my photography journey here at MOCA exactly 10 years ago, so it is with particular pleasure that I have my first solo exhibition here. Welcome to Everyday Magic. As a photographer, I get asked a lot, what kind of pictures do you take? And I always find that question really hard to answer, because essentially my images are a record of my day-to-day life and how I move through my day. What I find is I will see light that stops me in my tracks, and I want to take a picture of that. And sometimes it means I'm on my way to the kitchen to make a cup of coffee and I get waylaid because I see pretty light coming in the living room. Sometimes I know the light is going to hit a wall in a certain way at a certain time, and I stand and wait for it to get right exactly where I want it to be. But the feeling of everyday magic is that our lives are made up of all of these small moments, some of them mundane and some of them really spectacular. And I take pictures of those moments as a record of what is happening to me throughout my day-to-day life, because to me, by recording those moments, that helps me to honor the experience and honor the world around me. So I'll just walk you down through here a little bit if you want to see some of the images. One of the joys of being a photographer is you can look back on your body of work and see lots of themes emerge, and two big themes for me that emerge as I go through my images over the past maybe 3 years are beds and windows, and sometimes beds and windows. I'm drawn to the lines and the shapes and the intimate spaces that I inhabit as I make my way through this journey called life. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you guys, I realized that essentially all of these pictures, even though no one is in them, are self-portraits, because they're portraits of moments throughout my day-to-day life. The dishes in the sink, the rain coming in the sliding glass door, the way the light might hit my grandmother's picture on my nightstand. And then we also have an actual self-portrait, because I inhabit these spaces too, and I sometimes like to record those moments as well. I think that's about it. I'm going to throw it to Allison now.
Congratulations, Lauren, on your first solo show. We're
Thank
so
you.
proud to have you here, and we look forward to seeing you all at MOCA very soon. If you want to hear more from Lauren, she's going to be doing a coffee and conversation here at the museum during the programming for these exhibitions, which will also feature an amazing talk with the Gorilla Girls online, panel discussions with some of our She Says artists, as well as Instagram live chats and lots more for children and families. So check out virginiamoca.org, and we look forward to seeing you soon.